I am studying Chinese political thought through the lens of Journey to the West. It's a classic Chinese novel written by Wu Cheng'an, and it was written in the 16th century during the Ming Dynasty, and was a very interesting work because it kind of brought together all three of the major religions from China at the time. So you had Buddhism and Confucianism and Taoism all in one book, and sort of analyzing a little bit of political thought and a little bit of what Wu Cheng'an is trying to say about Chinese politics at the time.
It is on the shifting balance of air superiority in the Pacific theater of World War II.
The topic of my thesis is a deep dive into how totalitarian regimes exploit isolation and individualism, and how increased liberties can increase the hubris and confidence of citizens. So the direct title is The Tyranny with Two Eyes, Isolation and Individualism. And I'm analyzing the Nazi regime as well as the Stalinist regime in comparison with democratic associations that we have in America, the decline of associations with Robert Putnam's Bowling Alone.
It's on Paulo Freire and his critical pedagogy and how it is Marxist and how it's infiltrated the American education system.
Adam Smith is a historian, using all of Wealth of Nations, looking at the Year of Moral Sentiments, his two published works, also looking at some of his philosophical essays that were published after, so particularly his History of Astronomy, a little bit of his History of Metaphysics and History of the Ancient Logic, I think. And then also his lectures on jurisprudence. He didn't publish those, they're just a student's notes, but it's very insightful for history, so it's quite useful.
So the topic of my thesis is looking at regenerative AI student usage. So interestingly enough, there's not enough scholarly work on that. And I've been looking more into it and just trying to figure out why are students so heavily reliant on it and why students use it more. Because from an academic standpoint of view, you always hear the professor side. They don't like it, they don't like this, but you don't ever hear the student side of why are they using it? Why are they using it in the classroom? How is it benefiting them?
Amish religious liberty and how it applies to public safety. So I'm examining the Amish buggy light law that was passed a couple years ago, and seeing how the precedent of the court cases apply to the rest of us in regards to religious liberty and public safety.
The picture of Dorian Gray and a reading of the book that says that it's a critique of Aristotelian moderation. I chose it because it works a lot with subtext and kind of a reading of the text that the author might not agree with, and that kind of runs against the grain for Ashbrook a bit, so I thought it'd be fun to do something a little different. Oh, it's been my favorite book for about 6 years. I read it once a year, and I knew pretty early on I wanted to do something with it for my thesis because I knew the text well enough that I thought it'd be manageable. It's also a relatively short book, so I don't do great with long papers, so I wanted to get to be around the minimum page mark. I wanted a topic that I could do well and in depth without having to make it 50, 60 pages.